So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. Today's video is not just a story, it is a life lesson, it is an awareness, it is a wake-up call. I want to implore everybody watching me to please watch till the end, because at the end of this video I will share some very important messages. Before we proceed, if you're new here, seeing me for the first time, or if you are a regular, an OG, but you're yet to hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button. It's free, it's easy. Hit on the subscribe button, click on the bell notification, so when I post, you will be the first to know, and drop all your comments, thoughts, experiences, feelings down in the comment section as we proceed. 50-year-old SHANTEARI was born in Maryland in the United States. She is the youngest of 5 siblings, graduated from Baltimore City College in 1990, and then joined the Brookbridge Correctional Facility as a correctional officer. She worked there for almost 12 years. SHANTEARI loved children so much. You know, there are some people who have a passion for children. SHANTEARI was one of such people. It gave her so much fulfillment to be around children. And so she thought to herself, what job can I do that would tailor me to this passion of mine? Opening a daycare. Besides, her own mother ran a daycare when she was young, so she already had at least a surface idea as to how it works and the settings. So she quit her job at the prisons. And so in 2005, she paired with her best friend Nicole, and then they opened the daycare. Nothing gave her more pleasure than having these little boys and girls under her care and her love. While running the daycare, SHANTEARI met with then 52-year-old James Weems. They got close, and in 2017, they got married. James was a former police officer and a Marine. He served in the force for about 10 years, after which he left and became private. Such great match they must have made. An ex-police officer and an ex-correctional facility officer. Bread and jam. So the couple partnered to run SHANTEARI's business together. While SHANTEARI ran the facility itself, James served as the daycare bus driver, dropping and picking children in the school bus. They ran their marriage and their business together until July of 2022, when everything will change forever. It all started when a 10-year-old boy, who was a pupil at the daycare, was caught by his parents watching some videos of sexual nature on his tablets. And when the clearly shocked parents quizzed their little child, he opened up that it was James, the bus driver, who taught him how to access the site. He also went further to disclose to his parents that Mr. James had been extrally abusing him. The child disclosed that the abuse takes place in the school bus and in the daycare playground, where there were no cameras. So the parents swiftly reported to the police, and the police obtained a search and seizure warrant on his phone, on James' phone. And so when the police came to execute the warrants to James and SHANTEARI's home, SHANTEARI was in abject shock, filled with disbelief. This was her husband for years, a man that she was sexually active with, an ex-police officer, a Marine, the one she trusts the most in this life, doing what with kids?
I was totally broken. I felt like the blood had just drained out of my body, because again, this was my husband. I trusted him fully. He was supposed to help me protect these children. He always told me he was my protector. So when I heard this, I just felt like my world had just ended.
It did not make any sense. And so she asked and asked her husband, but he kept on denying that he didn't do anything.
The only person I had to find out information from was my husband. And he kept saying he didn't do it.
And you believed him?
I did believe him.
So Shanteri was in clearly disbelief. She was in denial. She didn't know what to believe. She was so confused until she spoke to a parent of one of these victims. And when that mother looked at her in the eyes and told her the story of what her child had told her, Shanteri began to have shivers. And then she made a decision to speak directly to one of the children. She knew, like any real mother watching me, that babies of 6, 7, 8, 9, they hardly tell lies about these kinds of things. And so when she spoke to the child, eyeball to eyeball, and the child narrated everything that her husband had done to him, she believed instantly. She knew that the child was telling the truth.
So I saw the pain in her face, and I knew that she was not lying. She finally said it was my husband.
You think about that child all the time?
All the time. I think about all the children all the time.
She broke down. She was so distraught. She felt her soul leave her body as though her life had ended. She walked into a liquor store and got a bottle of whiskey. She had not tasted alcohol in 20 years, but she gulped down the content like it was her second nature.
I hadn't taken a drink in almost 20 years. When I did drink, I used to drink coolers. So I stopped to the store and got, I think a big bottle of Hennessy or something.
Brandy.
And I was so hurt. I was stressed out for the last few days, and I just was going through so much. I wasn't talking. Even when my center got shut down, I wasn't talking to friends. I wasn't talking to anybody. And I guess I thought going to get something to drink was going to make everything better. And so I went and got something to drink, and then I drove.
And then she drove straight to where her husband was, and she put 2 bullets in him, one in the neck and the other in the left thigh, shattering his femur. The police was called to the scene, and Shanteri was arrested. She was slammed with a 2-count charge, one for aggravated assault while being armed, and secondly, for assault with a dangerous weapon. She wholeheartedly cooperated with the authorities, and the prosecutors offered her a plea deal. A plea bargain of 2 years was reached, and it was presented to the courts.
I snapped. I'm not a violent person. I think a lot of people know me, know my character, should I say, and know the type of person I am, know my heart, and know that this is not something normal. It's not a normal characteristic of me.
Now, surprisingly, the judge, Michael Onitz, declined this plea bargain that the prosecutors had agreed to and presented to him. He declined the plea bargain, describing her actions as cruel. He doubled it instead, sentencing her to 4 years imprisonment. Now, this judge's decision sure got a lot of people reeled up, and they were like, this judge should be investigated. There is good reason to suspect that he is in the business of sexually harassing children and people. To this set of people, they were like, okay, yes, it will not be workable to just let her go legally, because if the police or the judiciary just let her off the hook, as the society was clamoring for, because there were a lot of movements then, release her, let her go. Some people were like, okay, yes, if the justice system doesn't do that, because it will be a very dangerous precedent to set to society that people are at liberty to take laws into their hands, and the society will clamor for their release and they will be free. That may be a very dangerous precedent that may eventually snowball to anarchy and doom in the society. So even if the judge wanted to instill some punishment, why did he leave the safety and blamelessness of an already presented plea bargain and then double the sentence? Even the police, even the prosecution, just like members of the society, were sympathetic to the lady's cause. Oh yes, there were a lot of stricter offenses that they could have wrapped her under. Shooting in the neck, they could have wrapped it as attempted murder, and that would have been a more serious case. But they knew what they were doing when they just made it stay within the ambits of assault, because they were trying to present the face of justice has been given while trying to keep the punishment as minimal as possible. And more often than not, many times, judges would go with the bargain that has been reached and presented by the prosecutors. So many people were very disappointed and upset that this Judge Michael, declined that plea bargain and chose to met out a stiffer punishment on Shantari. Let us know what you think about this down in the comment section. Do you agree with these people that the judge's behavior was very suspect and very unfair? Or do you believe that he did the right thing by making sure that she served more than the 2 years that was proposed? Let us get your thoughts down below. Now, the essence of me choosing to tell this story is not to encourage anyone to take the laws into their hands or to resort to violence. No. I am utilizing this story as an avenue to shed light on a woman, a person who stood up for evil, even though the perpetrator was their spouse. On a woman who put the interest of children, even though they were not hers, above the comforts of being married. Who had the courage to separate herself from a destructive person instead of aiding, abetting, and protecting an assailant of this particular nature. You see, in Nigeria and in some other parts of Africa, there is a very painful reality that we do not confront often enough. The silence of mothers in the face of evil in their homes. When you listen to stories of young girls being abused as children, as babies, a heartbreaking pattern often plays out. You will hear them say, my auntie knew or eventually got to know. My madam knew. My landlady knew. They knew exactly what their husbands were doing, what their brothers were doing, what their uncles and in-laws were doing. But they stayed hush. They took no action. How the fear and desire of I must be married at all costs outweighs the instinct to protect a defenseless child instead of confronting that abuser, that demon. Many mothers, many women in Nigeria would rather protect the image of their marriage instead of rebuking the devil in their home. Some mummies will brazenly defend the man destroying the innocence of helpless children and go as far as blaming the child, calling her a liar, calling her possessed, calling her rebellious, and creating a second and deeper wound for that victim that is irreparable. Protecting a demonic marriage becomes more paramount than protecting a defenseless child. Now, let me tell every mother, every woman watching me today that protecting a child is a sacred duty and responsibility. It's an innate responsibility that God has placed on each and every one of us, whether it is your biological child or the child of someone else. To bring a life into this world, every woman, whether it is by vaginal birth or cesarean section, every woman sheds blood and water. And blood and water are two components of covenants. You have subliminally entered a covenant with God to protect that child and every other child. As a mother, I cannot see a child in turmoil and pass. It is a sacrilege to God. And some of us, we might find ourselves praying, jumping from one prayer house to the other, calling on God, and it seems like He's not listening. You do not know whether it is your omissions or your actions that are hindering your prayers. How can you, as a mother, see another baby being destroyed and molested and you cover it up? You condone it. It is unforgivable. For my older mommies watching me, because many of them watch me, if you have done this in the past, maybe out of ignorance, pray to God to forgive you, because that is an unforgivable offense, a crime against nature itself. I have a friend that teaches in a government secondary school. And when this lady tells me what those house helps, because those governments, those state schools, all these house helps, all these smallies, 13, 14, 12, 15, these children come to school crying every day. That's every night. Their ogas will not let them sleep. Madam is under the same roof. Every day, oga would come and molest them and touch them, and they can't do anything because they are going to be thrown out to the streets under your roof as a mommy. Until more women, more people embrace these streets and stand up for these children, the cycle of abuse will never stop. And tomorrow, it may be that your treasured daughter or son. I want to seize this opportunity and this video to remind we parents, both the daddies and mommies, husbands and wives, the rampancy, the prevalence of these kinds of issues. The frequency of its occurrence is unbelievable, believe me, and it happens anywhere and everywhere. It just takes 2 minutes for your child to be destroyed. God forbid. Nobody is immune. These monsters are around us. They are everywhere. They are those people we trust. There are those people we revere, those upright people, those unsuspectable people. In Igbo language, we say, it is someone that knows you, someone that is close to you, that will be close enough to kill you. These predators are close. Be watchful, be vigilant, be suspicious, be a hawk. Just last week, I came across this video where a mother took to social media to name and shame and publish the picture of a lesson teacher that she just got her daughter online. Oh, this is not physical lesson teacher, online. And day one of the lesson, or what day was it? The teacher was really asking the girl to dance seductively for him, or what was he doing? Was it that he was showing her his private parts? A married man, because she posted the man and his wife and children. His family was on his WhatsApp profile. Came to teach an underaged child, and the first thing he can think of is perversion. No child is out of reach. No child is safe. Whether a female child or a male child. I know some of we mommies are very comfortable when we have a female help and she's taking care of our children, male and female, and say, oh, she's a girl. Our boys are not safe. Go and conduct a toll on the men in your life and ask them who introduced them to sexual immorality. Aunties that see a little boy with a little male organ, and that is what excites her sexually. A full grown-ass woman, nothing is as easy as getting sex for a woman. It is so easy. It is easy to even get someone that would pay you for it, not to talk about someone that you will give it for free. Hang a kuna line if that's what you want. There will be a long line for you, but you will leave all the adults that can sexually please you, and you pick a little baby boy and you start doing that with him. Those demonic ladies are in our homes. Nobody is safe. Mommies and daddies, be a hawk. Lastly, to think that this case blew out to the open only by accident. It's by accident, because if those parents didn't see that little child watching the sexual content that he was watching, perhaps they wouldn't have known. So it's not like any child reported to their parents. They stumbled upon that. And it just reflects and re-emphasizes the huge lapse, communication lapse between our children and us as parents. That such a thing can be happening because these children were 9, 10, the boys and girls that this man did these things to. They were children who are old enough to be able to communicate to their parents at the slightest apprehension. even before it got to that. That mommy, daddy, this teacher, this driver is being funny, he's being strange. Because those predators, sometimes they don't go all out in day one. They start strange. Hey, what do you like? They touch you here, they touch you there, and they progress until penetration. They get your trust. They put fear in you first. They ensure that you are not going to tell on them. So there is always a chance for communication before the destruction or the harm is done. And it's so unfortunate to see that there is a huge communication gap between our children and us as parents when it comes to matters around sexuality. Parents, we have a big role to play. We have a huge responsibility here. If at this age and time you still feel like sex education is an uncomfortable topic, then I'm sorry for you. Please teach these children for me. Teach them the difference between safe and unsafe language, safe and unsafe physical contact, safe and unsafe conversations. Teach them very early. Teach them in appropriate ways, age-appropriate ways that they will understand. Create that rapport and that environment with them. So when this thing starts to rear its head, they won't feel shy or uncomfortable to tell you. Let them be able to flow with you. Let them be able to confide in you. Let them be confident in you that when they tell you, you would believe them. You would take action. You will protect them. You won't judge them. You won't doubt them. Let them be able to have these conversations with us without fear of blame or punishment. So many ladies watching me, so many millennial ladies watching me, went through abuse as children, but were not able to tell their mothers because that kind of environment was not created. So are you going to repeat that mistake with your child? It is our responsibility as parents to protect our children and even the children of others. Well, how did this whole story end? James was taken to the hospital where he made recovery. Thank God. And then he was quickly taken into custody and slammed with 33 charges of child abuse as well as first and second degree sex offenses. He was sentenced to his whole life behind bars. SHANTEARI, on the other hand, filed for a divorce from James while she was in prison. She has served her time and is now out as a free person. So I believe that the sentence ran concurrently. Due to her criminal records, she will never be able to operate or work in a daycare for the rest of her life. But she has now disclosed that she will commit the rest of her life helping children and raising awareness about the dangers of sexual predators, especially those who hold positions of trust. She has received loads of support from the public.
A lot of us make bad choices in life, but you learn from it and you move on and you make the most out of it. And I'm definitely going to make a great batch of lemonade from these lemons that I've been dealt. And I'm going to help, and I'm going to continue to help children.
Wishing her all the very best as she sojourns further with life. Let us get your thoughts on everything that we have spoken about down in the comments section. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. If you're new here, you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your thoughts down in the comments section, and stay glued for we have so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.